हरे हरे। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं। हरि ओं तत्सत्। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तरालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and pranams. Thank you for joining in for our Ramayana study session. So we're almost in the last 2 weeks of completion of Ramayana. So we can start with Chaitanya Charitamrita on 28th of August. So let's quickly go on. The fight is going on. This is Yuddha Kand, and we see that Ravana is personally coming out of the battlefield. So let's see what happens in the war between Dharma and Adharma, between Lord Ram and Ravana. Vidyunmali, a leader among the Rakshasas, attacked. Oh, okay. I can see some hands up. 1 second. Let me just go to that view. Okay, Shama Priya Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Pranams,
Vidyunmali, a leader among the Rakshasas, attacks Sushena with gold encrusted arrows. Roaring again and again, he pierced the monkey with hundreds of sharp arrows. In a rage, Sushena took up a mountainous boulder and hurled it at the demon. Vidyunmali hastily leapt from his chariot as the boulder descended and smashed it into pieces. The demon stood on the ground, mace in hand. Sushena seized a huge rock and darted towards the Rakshasas, who swung his fierce mace at the monkey and caught him on the breast. Unmoved by the blow of Sushena, brought the rock down upon the demon's head with the force of a thunderbolt. Vidyunmali fell lifeless to the ground like a tree smashed in a storm. Many vigilant Many valiant Rakshasas were crushed in his way by mighty heroes among the monkeys and bears. The battlefield was strewn with spears and maces, as well as javelins, lances, and arrows. Smashed chariots lay amid the carcasses of horses and elephants. The headless trunks of Rakshasas and monkeys bounded here and there, spurting blood and finally falling to the ground. The vultures and jackals moved about the field, feasting on the flesh and blood. As night fell, the Rakshas felt their strength and enthusiasm increases. Felt their strength and enthusiasm increases. The fight continued into the night with the combatants hardly able to recognize one another. Voices were heard to call out, "Are you a monkey or Rakshasa?" Shouts of "Stand and fight," and "Why do you flee?" mixed with the cries of wounded and dying soldiers. The monkeys could see the golden armor of Rakshasas glinting in the moonlight, and they sprang upon them, tearing them with their sharp teeth and pounding them with their fists. Powerful monkeys dragged down the elephants and horses mounted up demons. Monkey heroes picked up Rakshasas, crushed them in their embrace, and then dropped them lifeless to the ground to be devoured by jackals. Rama and Lakshmana stood together like two brilliant gods. They killed numerous Rakshasas with swift arrows, including those who ranged invisible through the sky. Not even the heroes among the Rakshasas could approach the two princes as they fought in the midst of the battle. A terrible sound rose as the Rakshasas beat countless kettle drums, and large wooden toms and toms blew thousands of conches and trumpets. This sound mixed with this sound, mixed with roars of pain and the clash of weapons, created a horrifying uproar. It was difficult to move across the ground due to the countless corpses lying there. Monkeys and Rakshasas lay on the battlefield with lances and arrows protruding from their lifeless bodies. That first night of battle was like the night of universal dissolution. Millions of warriors were slain. Ghosts and nocturnal fiends ranged about the battlefields, reveling in the scenes of the carnage and death. The Rakshasas rallied, and headed by six of their mighty chiefs riding in a line, they rushed in a body towards Rama and Lakshmana. Rama released thousands of flaming arrows which lit up the ground like flares. Almost instantaneously, he struck down the six foremost Rakshas with the six straight flying arrows. With other golden feathered arrows, he tore to pieces hundreds of other Rakshas who came near him. Lakshmana stood behind him and fended off the treacherous demon who attacked Rama from his rear. The demons that approached the prince appears like moths entering a fire. Angada fought a furious battle like with Indrajit. With a rock that looked like a mountain peak, he smashed the demon's chariot. Indrajit rose into the air and became invisible. Fatigued from the fight, he retreated. Seeing Angada besting Indrajit, Indrajit, the gods of the rishis praised him. Rama and Lakshmana also praised the valor of the monkey prince. They called out, "Well done, bravo!" Hearing his enemy praised, Indrajit fell into a terrible rage. Remaining invisible, the demon loosed sharp arrows which shone like lightning. They seemed to appear out of nowhere and sped towards Rama and Lakshmana, piercing them all over. The Rakshas used his supernatural power to send arrows like venomous snakes, which caught and bound Rama and Lakshmana. The two princes fell down to the ground, enmeshed in a tight network of breathing weapons with glowing ethereal bodies. Rama immediately ordered 10 monkeys to search out Indrajit. Hanuman, Angada, and 8 other Vanara general bounded into the air and darted about, whirling trees and mazes. But they could not locate the demon who continuously fired at them. His swift iron arrows bedecked with buzzard feathers, laughing all the while and keeping out of sight. Indrajit shot hundreds of arrows into the bodies of Rama and Lakshmana. No part of their body remained visible. No part of their body remained visible. Blood flowed profusely from their wounds, and they appeared like trees giving forth red blossoms in spring. Indraji shouted to them, "Even the ruler of the gods, Indra, could not discern me, and I fight invisibly. What then of you two human? I shall now dispatch you to the abode of Yamraja with my sharp arrows." The demon continued firing his arrows at the two bound brothers who felt distressed and afflicted. They lay upon the ground with their bows fallen down from their hands. Arrows with the heads of axes, others with razor heads, and others with heads shaped like calves. Teeth whistled towards them from the sky. Seeing them lying there bathed in blood, monkeys screeched in agony and fear. They surrounded the fallen prince and shed tears, giving way to despondency. Indrajit considered his enemy defeated. He joyfully left the battlefield and went towards Lanka to give the happy news to his father. The monkey felt hopeless. They stood beating their breasts and crying in anguish. As they gazed around the sky, feeling further attacks from the invisible Indrajit, they saw Vibhishana coming towards them. Some of the monkeys mistook the Rakshasa for Indrajit and they fled here and there. But Vibhishana reassured them. Looking around with his occult vision, he could discern that Indrajit had left. He told monkeys not to worry and knelt down by Rama's side. Vibhishana spoke to Sugriva with pain in his voice. These two brothers, who always depend on virtue, have been struck down by Indrajit's treachery. And the wicked demon cannot face them in a fair fight. Therefore, he resorts to softly and cowardice. Vishnu told the monkeys that Rama and Lakshmana had been bound by a mystical weapon which Indrajit had received as a boon from Brahma. Even the gods would not be able to release them. This made the monkeys even more angry. Sugriva lamented loudly. All Rama's hopes have been dashed today. Our efforts are in vain and everything is lost. What shall we do now? Vishnu took hold of Sugriva's arm and reassured him. Take heart, O Monkey King. Conflicts are always of this nature. Victory is never certain. Heroes do not lament when faced with setbacks. Rather, they assert themselves with even more energy. My feeling is that these two princes will recover. Somehow they will shake off these bonds, I'm sure. Be strong, for the fear of death should never haunt those devoted to truth and piety. Vibhishana dipped in his hand in cool water and wiped Sugriva's eyes. He told him to look closely at Rama and Lakshmana. They were still breathing and their bodies were lustrous. It was clear they were only in a temporary faint. Vibhishana felt sure they would soon return to consciousness and find a way out of their predicament. He left with Jamban to reassure and rally the rest of the army as the news of Rama's fall had spread quickly. Sugriva, along with Hanuman and other leading monkeys, stood up Rama's side, waiting for him to awaken.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Danat
Once
Pranam.
again,
I will. Okay, so here Indrajit, like he also tied down Hanumanji, isn't it? When Hanumanji had gone to Lanka to actually find out about the strength of the the Rakshasas. He got himself voluntarily bound. And in this way, he was placed before Ravana, and then he told about how he is a servant of Lord Ram, etc. Right? So, in the same Astra, with the same Astra, Indrajit has now captured Rama and Lakshmana into the coils. And this now who will again come to the rescue? Garuda will come to the rescue, right? Because Garuda and Snake, they are all they are eternally enemies, and Garuda is the Vahana of Lord Vishnu. So Garuda will come to the rescue and rescue Rama and Lakshmana, and in this way again the fight will resume. All right, so let's start chapter number 6, Garuda to the rescue. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just one second. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah, actually, yeah, we had completed this, right? Wherein Rama and Lakshmana actually got back into once Garuda comes and rescues them. Yeah, I just was thinking that we've already read this section of chapter 6, where Garuda comes to the rescue, and Rama and Lakshmana, they get back to their consciousness. Lakshmana opened his eyes. Yeah, so we have to actually start from chapter number 7. Yeah. Okay, so let me share my screen here. We need to actually start from how Ravana enters the fray. So that's how we ended last time. That now Ravana himself is going to come, having heard from this demon who got killed, Vajradamshtra, right? After Vajradamshtra got killed, and now Ravana himself enters the fray. So that's where we have to start. Okay, let me share my screen. We need to start from chapter number 7 actually. Yeah. Okay. So this is where we need to read. Chapter 7, where Ravana enters the fray. Now Garuda came and held Rama and Lakshmana out of those coils. And now Ravana, having heard that Vajradamshra is also killed, he himself enters the fray. So Ravana saw his bedraggled troops returning defeated. His eyes were crimson with rage, and he breathed heavily. He ordered the next of his powerful commanders, Durdarsha, to march out for the battle. Okay, so he's sending another one. Now his name is Durdarsha, to march out for the battle. Okay, Karpakali Mataji, you want to read? Okay, let me close the screen. There is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Is my screen visible? Okay, somehow I'm not able to. Yeah. Sorry, one second. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah, you need to start from here. Chapter number 7, Ravana enters the fray. But before that, he is actually sending Durdarsha march out for the battle. Okay, Karpakali Mataji, go ahead, and then Sarvagopeshwari Mataji can read. Yes.
Chapter 7, Ravana enters the fray. Ravana saw his bedraggled troops returning defeated. His eyes were crimson with rage and he breathed heavily. He ordered the next of his powerful commanders, Durdasha, to march out for battle. The demon has faced the gods in Dandavas and the Danavas in battle, and he feared nothing. Mounting his jewel encrusted chariot, which had 8 iron wheels that stood as tall as 2 men, he raced out of the city. His voice resounded like thunderclaps as he railed the Rakshasa forces, who followed him in the hundreds of thousands. Like the other Rakshasa chiefs before him, he observed numerous ill omens, but he too ignored the portents and rushed towards the monkeys. Another terrible carnage ensued. Rains of sharp arrows and weapons from Rakshasas were met with volleys of rocks and trees from the monkeys. The combatants fell upon one another in a frenzy, each seeking to violently kill his adversary. No mercy was shown in the furious fight. A great cloud rose above the battlefield, which screened the sky and enveloped the fighters. They could hardly perceive one another, and monkeys struck monkeys while demons cut down another demon. Soon hundreds of thousands of Vanaras and Rakshasas lay stretched on the ground, prey for vultures and jackals. Durdasha exhibited a wild rage. Standing on his chariot, he loosened venomous jabs that tore the monkeys apart, breaking and shouting the ranks of Rama's army. Seeing this, Hanuman advanced toward him. Durdasha immediately showered him with innumerable sharp arrows, but Hanuman received the shafts like a mountain receiving rainfall. Laughing heartily, Hanuman ran at the Rakshasa, causing the earth to shake. With one hand, she took up the great boulder and raised it above his head. The Hanuman stood with his uplifted rock. Durdashan shot crescent and headed arrows that smashed it into pieces. Hanuman laughed again and uprooted an Akshvakarna tree as big as a mountain. He whirled it around and ran at the demon who was stationed some distance from him. And Hanuman rounded with the tree spinning. He struck down the dozens of Rakshasas mounted upon elephants and chariots. Durdasha saw him approach like a furious tempest and full of trepidation began to work his massive bow furiously. The demon shot hundreds of fierce-looking arrows into Hanuman's body as the violent monkey bled. He appeared like a mountain over. The demon shot hundreds of fierce-looking arrows into Hanuman's body. As the violent monkey bled, he appeared like a mountain overgrown with trees full of red blossoms. Determined to kill Durdasha, Hanuman shouted, "Victory to King victory to Rama," and rushed at Rakshasa with a tree. Three raised up aloft. The demon hardly had time to place another arrow upon his bow before Hanuman reached him. The furious monkey brought the tree down onto the Rakshasa's head with his full force. Durdasha fell from his chariot dead. The other Rakshasa wailed in despair. They dropped their weapons and fled in all directions, falling over each other in their panic. The monkeys cheered Hanuman and taunted the defeated demons. Rama and Lakshman then personally honored the victorious monkey. In the sky, the gods assembled and chanted auspicious hymns in Hanuman's praise. Hanuman enjoyed the glory even as Vishnu had upon killing the demons in days gone by. In Lanka, Ravana was becoming more and more exasperated. He looked at Prakasta, the mightiest of his Rakshasa commanders. I do not see many who are capable of saving Lanka at this critical junction. O courageous one, apart from you, Indrajit, Kumbhakarna, and myself, there are none who can undertake such a burden. Rama and his troops are indeed formidable, but the fickle-minded monkeys and his troops are indeed formidable. Fickle-minded monkeys will be put into flight when they hear you roar on the battlefield. O Prakasta, not even the mightiest God would stand before you. Although resolute to fight to the end, the demon king was beginning to feel misgivings. There was something exceptional about these monkeys and bears. Some divine force was empowering them. Ravana thought of Rama. No doubt the final battle would be between himself and the human prince. The demon reflected upon his wound. Only a human could kill him. Would it be Rama? He recoiled from the thought. This was not the time for fear. The battle must continue. Ravana urged Prakasta to march out with another enormous contingent. He told Rakshasa chief to be firm, even though victory was never certain. He was always preferable for a warrior to die in battle than in any other way. Ravana asked Prakasta if there was anything he needed. The demon replied, I need only your blessings, my lord. Having ever been honored by you with gifts and kind words, how can I not render service to you when the time has come? Neither my wife's son's wealth or even life itself is nearer to me than your service. Today the vultures will feast heartily on the flesh of monkeys. The Pakasta walked around Ravana with folded arms and then left for the battle. He assembled a horde of Rakshasa, all eager to fight. In less than an hour, a force of over 500,000 Rakshasas were ready. They adorned themselves with garlands sanctified by sacred mantras, put on armor, grasped their weapons. They thronged around Prakasta waiting to depart. Demon commander had the iron portcullis at the northern gate lifted and the army swarmed out with great cry. Prakasta rode at their head with a terrific war chariot furnished with every kind of weapon and driven by 100 steeds. A large standard of brilliant cat's eye stones bearing the emblem of serpent stood in the middle of a bejeweled chariot. Prakasta shone like the sun as he charged laughing towards the enemy. Dozens of vultures rose up and began circling anti-clockwise around the Prakasta. A large meteor dropped from the heavens. Clouds rumbled with a sound resembling the braying of a donkey. The showers of blood fell. Prakasta ignored the omens and pressed ahead with full speed. He met the advancing monkeys and penetrated deeply into the ranks. They immediately surrounded the Rakshasa and sealed him with rocks and trees. The demon simply shrugged off the missiles without being disturbed. He sent volleys of arrows at the monkeys and roared like a thundercloud. His vast Rakshasa force fell upon the monkey troops with shouts of joy. Monkeys and demons were again destroyed in large numbers. Some monkeys were run through with spikes and lances, and some cut down with razor sharp discussers, and some hacked into pieces with axes. Still others were clubbed to death with iron mallets, while others were crushed with huge maces. The monkeys smashed thousands of Rakshasas and mountainous crags and twigs. They struck down the Rakshasas with their bare hand and pounded them to death. A tumultuous clamor arose as heroic fighters rode in exultation or screamed in pain. Prakasta himself caused terrible havoc among the monkeys. He knew the secrets of all kinds of mystic events and sent arrows in such numbers that they resembled dark clouds. All around his chariot, waves of monkeys swirled to the ground, pierced in their vital parts. The battlefield resembled a swirling river with heaps of slain warriors as its banks lay the lances and spears, its trees and torrents of blood for its vast sheet of water. That river rushed towards the sea of dead, sweeping away all in its path. Seeing Prakasa annihilating its troops, Ivanara, commander-in-chief, Nila rushed toward the demon. Prakasa saw Nila approach and he drew his bow into full length, releasing deadly shafts that pierced the monkey. Not minding the swords, Nila took up a tree and struck the Rakshasa as it stood upon his chariot. Rakshasa rode in fury and then hundreds of arrows at Nila. The monkey could not check the shafts he received from them with closed eyes. Nila fell to his knees and braced himself against the arrow's impact with his mind absorbed in thought of Rama. Rallying himself, the Vanara chief took up a sword.
Hey Krishna, thank you, Mataji. Your voice is breaking.
Tremendous force onto
Hey,
carried a clutched iron man.
Haribol. Thank you. Okay, see, so here what is happening now is now Neela is almost is being defeated by Ravana, right? So such is the power of Ravana, right? But then what is Neela doing? Neela is actually picking up a tree by thinking of Lord Ram, right? So all of our powers, all of our strength, all of our opulence, is all, even the power and the opulence of Prastha is given by Lord Ram only, right? So whatever opulence, strength, resources, wealth, beauty, name, fame, glory, whatever we have received, it is all received by the grace of our gurus, grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So anybody who thinks that these are all mine and whatever is belonging to me is mine, I will use it in my way, in whatever way I find it convenient. Such a person actually leads himself to a worse destination, right? Whereas anybody who thinks that whatever I possess is by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, okay, such a person will be able to cross over all the trials and tribulations with flying colors, which means they cross over all of the trials and tribulations by remembering the Lord and surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So let's continue reading. Sarvagopeshwari Mataji, want to read?
Yes,
Prahasta
Mataji.
clutched hold. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Prahasta clutched hold of a fearsome iron mallet and leaped down from his shattered chariot. He ran at Neela, and a fierce fight ended at close quarters. Prahasta struck Neela on the forehead with his terrible weapon. Blood flowed in waves from the monkey's head. He hurled a boulder onto Prahasta's chest, but unmoved by that rock, the Rakshasa again lifted his massive iron mallet and rushed at Neela. Even as the Rakshasa closed on him, Neela took up a mountain peak and smashed it on his head. The demon's head split apart and he fell to the ground, deprived of his splendor and his life. The Rakshasas were thrown into a complete confusion. With their commander-in-chief slain, they did not know which way to turn. The jubilant monkeys overran them and put them to fight. Downcast and defeated, downcast and defeated,
The Rakshasas re-entered the city.
they defeated the Rakshasas, re-entered the city. Rama and Lakshman warmly applauded Neela, and then the monkeys rested, awaiting the next wave of Rakshasas. Ravana was shocked to hear the news of Prahasta's death, his mind tormented with grief and anger. In an anguished voice, he said to his minister, "Our enemy should be held in the highest regard. They have killed Prahasta, who was capable of exterminating Indra's army. It seems it's time for me to make my appearance at the battle. With a steady stream of blazing arrows, I shall consume the army of monkeys. Today I will throw down Rama and Lakshmana." Ravana looked around his ministers. They cheered his decision and felt encouraged. Now the monkeys would surely be crushed. Without losing time, Ravana sent for his chariot, honored with auspicious hymns and conch plays, and to the accompaniment of beating kettle drums, Ravana mounted his splendid vehicle. He went out of Lanka, surrounded by innumerable dark Rakshasas, who resembled big mountains. The demon appeared like Shiva in the midst of his ghostly followers. He saw ahead of him immense monkey army springing up with the trees and rocks in readiness to receive them. As the vast Rakshasa army poured from the city, Rama turned to Vibhishna and asked him the names of the principal fighters. Vibhishna named them all and then pointed to Ravana, that one who looks like the Himalaya mountain, who is surrounded by terrific demons with the heads of tigers, elephants, camels, and deer, who shines like a sun and is adorned with a blazing diadem. He is the sovereign lord of all Rakshasas, Ravana. Rama gazed at Ravana and exclaimed, "There at last is the evil one I seek. I can hardly perceive his actual form. Bathed as it is in brilliant effulgence, even the gods are not possessed of such brilliance. This demon is accompanied by warriors who seem entirely unapproachable. Indeed, he looks like a death himself, surrounded by fiery, hideous fiends. By good fortune, this wicked demon has come within my sight. Today I shall freely vent my anger that was born from Sita's abduction. Rama took from his skewer a long arrow with a barbed steel head and placed it on his bow. With Lakshmana by his side, he faced the rapidly advancing Rakshasa's hordes. Ravana raced at the head of his army. He carved his way through the monkeys like a killer whale dividing the ocean waters. Sugriva took hold of the great mountain crag and ran toward Ravana, holding it aloft. As the Monkey King approached the demon, he heard the mountain top, which was covered in numerous trees. Straight at his chariot, Ravana laughed at the mountain as the mountain sailed through the air. He tore it apart with a hail of golden arrows and resembled streaks of fire. The Rakshasa then took out an arrow resembling a huge serpent and released it to Sugriva's destruction. The arrow sped like an Indra's thunderbolt and emitted a stream of sparks. It struck Sugriva on the chest, and the monkey groaned in pain and fell senseless to the ground. As Sugriva fell, the Rakshasa shouted excellently. Other powerful Vanara generals immediately took up the axe and rushed to Ravana. They rained down their rocks and trees, but the demon smashed all of them to pieces with his swift arrows. He pierced all the monkeys with numbers of golden sharp, bedecked with jewels. The monkeys fell down, shrieking and crying out to Rama for protection. Rama heard their cries and he advanced toward the demon, but Lakshman stood before him and asked that Rama permit him to fight with Ravana first. Rama looked at his younger brother, who was eager for battle. He assented to his request, but warned him to be on guard. Ravana was on no ordinary foe. Lakshmana folded his palms and bowed to Rama, who tightly embraced him. The young prince then moved off and surveyed Ravana fighting the monkeys. As he walked, he saw Hanuman approach the 10-headed Rakshasa. The fearless monkey shouted at Ravana, "You are the proud of your bones, O demon. No fear exists in you of gods, demons, yakshas, or Gandharvas. But beware, there is a danger to you from monkeys. My fist will now expel from your body your very life breath. Try your best to fight with me, for your death is now close." Hanuman raised his fist and moved towards Ravana, who shouted back at him, "Strike me at once without fear, O monkey. Earn for yourself lasting fame. Having seen the limits of your power, I shall immediately destroy you." Hanuman laughed and reminded Ravana of the fight in the Ashoka Grove and of Aksha and the other powerful Rakshasas he had slain. As he spoke, he rushed straight to the demon Ravana, threw a great blow which hit Hanuman on the chest. Ravana threw a great blow which hit Hanuman on the chest and sent him reeling. But Hanuman regained his balance and whirling around, he struck the demon with his outstretched palm. Ravana shook like a mountain in an earthquake. In the heavens, the rishis and the siddhas who were observing the battle shouted with joy. Ravana recovered his senses and called out to Hanuman, "Well done, monkey. Your strength and valor are worthy of my praise." Hanuman replied that his strength was lamentable as Ravana still lived. Ravana rushed at Hanuman and dealt with him another tremendous blow, which sent the monkey spinning away. The demon then speedily drove his chariot toward Nila, who was standing nearby. Ravana shot thousands of arrows at the monkey chief. Hanuman shouted after him to come back and fight, but the demon paid no heed. He continued to engage with Nila, who took up the mountain top and hurled it to the Rakshasa. With 7 crescent-headed arrows, Ravana cut the rock to pieces. Nila threw great trees at the Rakshasa, one after another. Sal, Aswakarma, and mango trees, and in full blossom, flew with his feet toward Ravana. The demon threw sharp arrows that ripped all the trees to shreds. He then covered Nila with a hail of sharp pointed shafts. Neela sprang clear of Ravana's arrows and reducing himself to a very small size. He leaped on the top of the Ravana standard. The monkey sprang up from the standard to the end of Ravana's bow, then onto his diadem and back again to the standard. Ravana blazed with a fury upon seeing Neela's insolence. He set an arrow on his bow and charged it with the power of the Agni Astra, the dangerous fire weapon. Being struck with the blade, Neela fell unconscious to the ground. The monkey was burnt all over, but by the grace of his father, fire god, he was not slain. Ravana then looked around and saw Lakshmana. He directed his chariot to go quickly toward the prince. Lakshmana saw him approach and called out to him, "Here I am to do battle with you, O king of Rakshasa. Leave aside the monkeys and fight with me." Ravana shouted back, "It is fortunate indeed that you have fallen within my sight. Today you shall meet your end of my hand. Fight with all your strength." Oh, Raghav. Ravana addressed him decisively as a descendant of the powerful king Raghu. "What is the use of bragging?" Lakshman answered. "Those who are actually strong do not engage in such talk. O sinful one, I know your valor and power. Stand firmly now and fight, for the hour of your demise draws near." Ravana Hare Krishna.
Haribol. So now finally, after all the monkeys, Neela, then Hanuman, now Ravana is going to fight with Lakshmana, and then he will proceed towards Lord Ram. So probably this week and the middle of next week, 15th is Independence Day. Actually, we're having Seva, Shri Krishna Janmashtami, which is on 16th. So 15th will not have the class. 15th is Friday. Today is Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mostly in about 7 days, we'll be able to complete Ramayana. And on next Thursday, which is, no, not the next Thursday, the Thursday after that, 28th, Sita Rani Thakur. Thakurani's appearance day, the wife of Advaita Acharya's appearance day. On that day, we will go ahead and start with Chaitanya Charitamrita after completing Ramayana. So since it's festival time, so I'm not very sure. Friday, we may not have a session. Of course, we'll have a Brahma Murta chanting session on every day. But Ramayana, we will not have on Friday. And the next 2 weeks, we'll complete Ramayana and then we'll start with Chaitanya Charitamrita in the week after that. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निरंतराज श्री रामायण की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवा वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमनंदे हरि हरि बोल। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवा वृंद की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमनंदे हरि हरि बोल। So thank you, devotees. We'll meet you all tomorrow morning 4:30 a.m. for our Brahmamurta chanting session, and then again at 11 o'clock for our continuing our Ramayana study session tomorrow. Grantaraj Srimad Ramayana ki jai, Shila Prabhupada Shila Gurudev ki jai, and 4 days is Shri Krishna Janmashtami approaching, so we can prepare our consciousness for Shri Krishna Janmashtami. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you. Dhanat Pranams.